Jose, still won't get funky with me right now. I need your help. I think you can talk to him for a minute. Come on, y'all help him out. Come on, y'all, put y'all hands together. We gonna keep the energy going all the way all day and all night, y'all. Come on. Come on, y'all. Tippatinas, how y'all feeling? Once again, I want to introduce us to you all. This might be y'all first time hearing of us. Some of y'all might know who we are. But we are the Rumble Band, home base and homegrown right here in New Orleans. And myself, I reside right here uptown on Valentine Magnolia, right up the way. It's kind of where all this thing started, you know. So if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna take y'all uptown a little bit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uptown coming for you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uptown coming for you. Let me tell you about the ninja. They're coming from way uptown. Heard about it, grandma. We got the boom boom shaking the ground. Hear the spy boy hiding y'all. They're coming all across the town. Say you won't bow down now. You know why? Because we don't know how. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uptown coming for ya. Coming from way, way uptown. I won't kneel because I don't know how. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uptown coming for ya. Pretty, pretty girls and eagles kill your whole gang, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm Shimale. Uptown coming for ya. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uptown coming for ya. Kill 'em all, yeah, with the healing and praise. Early Mardi Gras day, y'all. You get the hell out the way. Say the big cheap spot boy and yelling two-way pocket way. Two-way pocket way. Our whole gang coming now. So just move to the side. We some uptown rulers, y'all. We take you dead or alive. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uptown coming for you. Coming all the way from uptown across the railroad tracks, and I ain't turning back. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Uptown coming for you. Make love. If y'all can follow along and help us out a little bit, I would surely appreciate it. I'ma sing it, and I need y'all to say it after me. Y'all can do that with me? All right, let me see if y'all can help me out right here. We're gonna do it just like this. We go, hey, don't go nowhere, uptown on their way. Hey, don't go nowhere, uptown on their way. Now let me see if y'all can do it. Hey, don't go nowhere, uptown on their way. Come on, we get a little louder than that. Come on. Hey, don't go nowhere, uptown on their way. Scream it loud. Hey, don't go nowhere, uptown on their way. We want you to hear them all the way uptown. Hey, don't go nowhere, uptown on their way. Hey, don't go nowhere, 'cause uptown on their way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Funky Uncle live from the Howlin Wolf. My name is Soul Stew, and it's an honor to welcome everyone here for another great night of live local New Orleans music. Now, 2 years ago, as our whole world shifted and we went into lockdown, a large group of dedicated music lovers all got together and tried to think what we could do to help our fellow musicians, our gig workers, and people who love music the way we do. That was the crew of Tux and the Fat Bankers, who always rolled down St. Charles Avenue on the Funky Uncle Lounge, the coolest float you'll ever see in all of your carnival days. Anyways, we got together, we did it, we brought in over 105 different bands. We raised well over $500,000, and we put all that back into our community, the musicians and gig workers. And at this point, we are now taking a brief bow as our musicians and gig workers get back out on the road and into the clubs. But it's an honor to be here with you tonight to celebrate this 2-year anniversary and all we've accomplished. I'd like to throw it to my good friend, Miss Leslie Cooper, right here, who I've had the honor of sharing many of these evenings with. How are you, Howlin?
This has been so much fun, Stu, and I'm just going to go ahead and cry now and get it over with.
All right. Crying all night.
If anybody brings me a drink, make sure you bring me extra napkins, all right? So anyway, it's going to be an incredible night, such a wonderful show, and I want to start it off by introducing you to our executive producer, the king of Tux.
All hail my king,
All hail,
Chris Berry.
Mr. Chris Berry.
Thank you, Leslie, and thank you all for coming out tonight. We wanted to put together a phenomenal show to make it our last weekly show, and I think we've done a good job of that. We started off with a couple of different missions. First of all, we wanted to bring free funk to the people during COVID, and we did that. We've had 106 shows as of tonight, and we have had 2,700 views per show on average. So we've really hit a lot of people. Secondly, we wanted musicians and gig workers to have a place to go and be during COVID so that they could be together and do what they do. We've been successful in doing that, I think, very well. And then third, raise money for musicians and gig workers and give away grants. We have raised over $650,000 and given away grants to 850 people plus. So we're very excited and very proud of that. Tonight is a celebration of everything that we've done. I want to start off by thanking our crew, Christian, who is the co-executive producer, the film crew, Ed, Stephanie, William, Gage, lighting and stage, Shane. We've had Anthony, we have Joey, Andrew on sound, we've had BJ, Tom's been helping us out. We have a tremendous presence on the internet, maybe a lot of you all watching right now. Easton, Keith, Claire helped us with the internet. We've had Big Mark, Little Mark helping us in the back of the house. Some new people who are helping since we've been moving out to clubs. We've got Chris, Brian, Dawn, who've been helping us. Thank you to everybody. Give the crew a round of applause. We couldn't do it without all these people. I really want to thank the viewers for being there and supporting us all along. We're going to be doing other Funky Uncle events. We've got a Jazz Fest show planned. We're going to have fundraisers. We're going to continue to help the music community. If there's anybody out there in the music community that needs assistance, they can call Christian, me, Leslie, Stu, fill out the form that's on the internet. We're going to continue to do what we do. I want to thank particularly our sponsors. First, the crew of Tux. We had about 80 shows in the Tux Den. We could not have done this without the crew of Tux. Secondly, AOS Interiors, who sponsored many shows. But really a huge, huge thank you to Fallberg Private Wealth. David, Tyson, JP, John, those guys have sponsored over 50 shows, and they are one of the main reasons that we're able to be here and doing what we do. I see him over there, my friend Frenchy. We can't talk about what we've done without talking about Frenchy. There's a good story about Frenchy. Frenchy and I didn't know each other. Christian and Frenchy didn't know each other. When we first started doing this, we were in the Tux Den before April 3rd, our first show, and we saw Frenchy's float. Frenchy's a Tux captain as well, and we thought, boy, Frenchy's float would look really good with the Funky Uncle as a backdrop for what we want to do. Let's see if we can get his phone number and call him. So we got his phone number from the captain of the crew of Tux, and we called him. Frenchy said, well, don't you want me to paint? And we said, sure, come over and paint. 40% of the money that we have raised of the $650,000 has come from Frenchy's paintings. Thank you, my brother. It has been a huge, huge pleasure to get to know you. He's given us his heart, his soul, his mind, just like all the musicians have. And I'm going to let you get to the music here in just a second, but I want to recognize two musicians. I don't know if we can get a picture of the float on TV, but we've got the Funky Uncle Lounge. Obviously, we're not here right now, but it contains the bus of all the iconic funk musicians in New Orleans. Those musicians are going to be honored here tonight, each one of them. Two of them are still with us, George Porter Jr. and Leo Nocentelli. And I want to specifically thank George and Leo for being here. They both did individual shows for us during our run. They did a show together, a Geo-Leo show. Leo came and did the Irma Thomas show with us. They have helped us find people. They've helped us with projects. And they're here tonight out of their care and affection for the community of music. We certainly can't pay them what they deserve to play together and to be on this stage and play together. But as the icons of music, they honor us. They honor the music. They honor their progeny by being here tonight. So I specifically want to send out a thank you to both of them from all of us. On behalf of the music community, we're glad to be a part of it. We're glad to be here. I'm going to kick it back to Leslie and Stu.
That's right. Give it up for Big Daddy. Big Daddy, king of Tux. And our king of the Funky Uncle. Stu, I think we should start this off by honoring these guys. We're going to start down on this end with Professor Longhair. So take it away, Don.
Absolutely. Well, many years ago in 1971, Quint Davis, George Wein, and Allison Miner were all sitting in a bar in uptown New Orleans waiting on an Indian practice during carnival season when a song came on the jukebox. It was Go to the Mardi Gras by Professor Longhair. George Wein looked over at Quint and Allison and said, who is this? And like, well, it's a song we usually only hear during Mardi Gras. This guy, Professor Longhair, and he goes, well, he should play our festival. Go find him. I say, well, no one's heard from him in a while. They said, we don't care, track him down. So they went and found this legend of New Orleans piano playing, merely working as a janitor in a record store with few, if any, gigs to his name. So instead of just letting him just languish in obscurity, no, they wanted to share his gifts with the world once again. So they booked him for the second ever New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. His great return to the stage, everyone was blown away. And then 14 dedicated music lovers decided that Fess needed a place to play all the time, and those like him needed a home for their music. So they found a little spot at 501 Napoleon Avenue. They originally called it the 501 Club. It was a juice bar. They later got their liquor license and changed the name to Tipitina's after one of Fess's most beloved compositions. And to this day, that song still rings out on that stage and many others. It's about to ring out on this one as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you John Fohl, Reggie Scanlon, and Tom Worrell performing the music of the great. And Mike Skinkus right here performing the music of Professor Longhair. Take it away.
Reg, you got my back, man.
Skinkus, you the man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the band one more time. Great. John Fohl on guitar, Michael Skinkus right here on percussion, Reggie Scanlon on bass, a man who actually performed that beautiful song Tipitina with that actual Professor Longhair, and of course Tom Worrell over here on the keys. The actual, not any of the fakes of common sense. The man himself. And once again, a tune that we cherish so much here in New Orleans and all over the world. And of course, hearing Tom play it, someone who's studied this music so deeply, really makes it resonate for me. Now, Tom, as someone who's spent your whole life studying the art of piano playing, could you just tell us what makes Professor Longhair's style, his music, so unique and so influential on everyone who came after him?
Well, I think it's a combination of a bunch of different factors, but the ones that really grabbed me were the syncopation and the kind of counterpoint kind of stuff that's built into it, and the sense of humor, and just the inventiveness of it. I mean, no one played like him before him, that I know of. So, you know.
Reggie, did you ever see anyone playing like Fess before you met him?
I never heard anybody play Fess before I met him, or since. So no, there was just something in his music that just had a vibe and a groove to it that it was totally unique. You know, it was and there was a lot of different influences in that. I mean, a lot of Latin stuff. I mean, he told me one time Perez Prado is who he used to like to listen to.
Perez Prado.
I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But he put a lot of stuff together to make a really unique style of music. You know, that's really hard to play.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, something that always touched my heart, Reggie, is whenever I'd ask you about Fess, you'd also talk about just how kind and loving of a person he was.
Oh, that man was a prince.
Yeah.
He was awesome. He treated his band great. He treated everybody around him great. He was concerned about other people. You know, like he had people staying at his house that didn't have any place else to go that were friends. I mean, the guy was awesome.
Yeah, just did everything for the community.
He was. I owe a lot to that guy that I'll never be able to pay back. And to me, man, he's everything.
Amen to that. Me as well, Reggie. That's why it always means so much when you share these tales about him with us.
He's everything to me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, about Tipitina, one more time before we let y'all go on to the next tune. I remember one time, Reg, you and I were in the van with the Suspects. We were rolling back from New York City back home to New Orleans, and I don't know if we were all listening to Fess or what, but the subject of Tipitina came up, and each one of us in the van went and we told the story that we had heard about how what the name came from. Mine was that Fess had a reefer lady, sales lady, who had the peg leg, and her name was Tina, and she would tip out to the car and throw you your bag. Someone else had the story that Tina was a bartender at Tips when it was a juice bar, and if you tipped her, she'd throw a little extra